Okay, so I want to make a quickish video about what I've been doing in another dynasty that I've started. I know I've been doing a whole bunch of offline dynasties and none of UNCC. I don't even know if I'm gonna get started back on that. We'll see what happens. But so something interesting that I've seen and found in recruiting and how it differs from dynasty to dynasty and the types of players that you find. So, first and foremost, Washington State is one of the hardest, in my opinion, teams to do a dynasty with because when I started this dynasty, I had 3 or 4 players that wanted to come to my school, like that just had me on their roster, and I was like, um, how, why, just 3 or 4 players that had me on their list, and I had to go out and try to find other players, and it was just a constant uphill battle to get players to commit to my school. And it's kind of, you can kind of see it in the years that I've coached. As you can see, it is 2032 here, so I put quite a bit of time in there. But 2024, 2025, 2026, you know, as you can see, I didn't win the national championship. Then 2027, 2028, I did. 2029, I lost in the, what was that be? The semifinals. Then I won again 2023. 2030, 2031, and then now we're in 2032. And I don't know why it doesn't say I won the Pac-12 championship here. It's probably because, I started off with just the 2 teams, and I did have a Pac-12 championship game. I made us play one regular season game between who was it, Oregon State, and then we played a Pac-12 championship game, but I guess they just didn't count it. But I lost the game this year to, I want to say it was Wyoming. I fucking lost to. I don't know what it was that I remember that game. I could not do anything against them. And I ended up losing on the road, and then we won. I think that says the Armed Forces Bowl. This one I lost in the first round of the college football playoffs, and then go from there. But yeah, it was just hard for me to get consistently good players, and a team that has made that so difficult. Can I even look at recruiting where I'm at right now? I cannot. That's a bit annoying. Anyway, I can just show you a team that has made it difficult for me. That is, where are they at? Here we go. Not Ole Miss. Oregon. Oregon has made it so difficult for me. Half of the players that are on their roster currently, and even players from the past, I've tried to recruit, and they've just decided to pick Oregon over me. And right now, currently, I do have the number 1 recruiting class. Oregon has the number 2 recruiting class. They're not going to surpass me because I only have 22 recruits and I have 9 5-stars. I remember this off the top of my head because I looked at it not too long ago. And then Oregon has 35 commitments, so they're all tapped out. There was a quarterback on this roster that he was a 5-star, and he ended up being an elite player, and he ended up never playing a single down of football for the Oregon Ducks because this guy right here ended up just taking his spot, which I find crazy because you can see he's a 4-star normal dev. and he's so good. But the other guy, he was just okay, and I'm pretty sure I also recruited this guy. I mean, he's from Seattle, Washington, so it makes sense that I did try to recruit him. And as you can see, I lost out on this kid for sure. I definitely recruited him. So yeah, another thing that I've noticed, I'm just gonna leave and then go back into my roster, is that when I was looking at my University of Miami one, I saw a lot of really fast players, and I have not, a lot of really fast wide receivers, and I have not found that many fast wide receivers. So, like, you can see down here, yeah, he is a 98 speed with 87 acceleration, which, and ironically enough, he's from Florida, but 87 acceleration, not good. That's why he's a physical tendency rather than a deep ball threat. I 89 speed. Like, he's my slot receiver. He's the best slot receiver that I have at the current moment because he's just a route runner. And then these are all physical and route runners. Like, he's a deep ball threat, but because he gets the bump in overall just by a little bit over him, and I should have just made the change, and he probably would have put up numbers for me this year, but he's probably going to be better than this guy anyways next year. And then another issue that I'm finding is when doing the mass subs, they'll put in players. If you don't have enough players at a position, they'll put in players that are freshmen, and then you lose the red shirt after a certain amount of time. So, this guy and this guy, I've lost the red shirt for them. So they I don't even think they've recorded stats. They were just in the game. Yeah, didn't record any stats. He just was in the game, and I don't even think he was in the game as a wide receiver. He probably got in the game to do kickoff and punt returns. I won't even say kickoff and punt returns. He was on the kickoff team to make tackles. Probably. Is there a way? No, not blocking. Defense. Probably just never made a tackle, but still. But you can see that he's a deep ball threat. 95 speed with 96 acceleration. Physical. Like, I have not been able to recruit fast wide receivers in this franchise. And I'm going to go over to Miami real quick. All right, now looking at Miami, 96 speed, 89 acceleration. Not great, but he would still be in the upper echelon of the players that I currently have on the Washington State roster. 97 speed, 93 acceleration would burn every player on that roster. 96 speed, 95 acceleration, burning everybody. 96 speed, 92 acceleration, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 95, 95, 96, 89, 97, 88. This kid I would put him at my slot receiver as a freshman, and I would not care. 99 speed with 95 acceleration, 99 speed with 91 acceleration. I'm just not seeing these type of speed players on my team, and I mean in recruiting, and I don't know what reason that is. I truly just don't know, but it's just weird that, and maybe it's because of the region, because as you can see, most of these players are from the South. All of them except for one of these players are from the South. This guy, 96 speed, 89 acceleration, is still freaking fast. But he's 6'6". He's gonna be physical no matter what, basically, at that point. But maybe that has a lot to do with it. But like I said, I've even ventured down into Florida with these other, Washington State, and it's just not going well in terms of getting fast wide receivers. And then another thing that I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like, why why haven't I gotten any receivers from California that are that fast? Like California. I've gotten receivers from Texas, as you can see. He's from Washington, Florida, Oregon, Illinois, Florida, Illinois, and Illinois. Yeah, I don't know why Illinois has become a pipeline for me, but not really a pipeline, but I do, as you can see, I have gone to Illinois quite a bit to get receivers, but I just don't get it. I don't get why I'm not getting fast receivers. And then conversely, running back, I'm getting a lot of receiving running back. Like, he's a power back. I had two running backs last year that were both receiving backs that both dipped on me. I want to say one was a junior, one was a sophomore, and they both went pro. That one hurt, but I have this guy as he was going to be my third string back if they both came in. As you can see, he's a stud. He's a beast. He's put up numbers this year for me. I'm pretty sure he leads the nation in rushing. Yeah. 18 touchdowns, 1,700 yards, 21 broken tackles. And then, I should have showed what he's done in the receiving game. And he just burns people off the line as a receiver. Not much, but if I threw to him more consistently, then he would be putting up way better numbers. But there's a reason why. And ironically enough, I'm sitting there talking about how I haven't gotten, fast, big-time receivers. This is the first year I have a receiver that, even though his actual overall is only 88, but you can see his increased overall with the boosts are a 90. He's the first receiver that would be technically over a 90 for me in this playthrough, which I think is crazy because I haven't gotten any receivers that have been good. I mean, I've run a freaking not a spread. What is it? Not run and shoot, but it's gonna kill me if I don't look at the freaking playbook. Air raid. Jesus, I could not think of the name air raid. I run an air raid often, so you would think that would get receivers to flock to you, especially fast receivers, but it doesn't. And maybe that has something to do with it as well. Maybe the air raid isn't for fast receivers. Maybe it's for the more physical route runners, which is crazy because we have a lot of I throw a lot of flies, and I don't understand. But he's been on a tear. Manny Bynum, he has been putting up numbers for me. As you can see, 40 touchdowns. Yes, he has 40 touchdowns because he just burns players off the line, even without his, crazy speed. And he would have over 2,000 yards right now if he was faster and had better acceleration. If he had the 98 speed with maybe this 96 acceleration here, he untouchable. Quarterbacks has been crazy. Quarterbacks have been crazy. I pulled another classic me, had my starting quarterback in a game where they didn't have to be in, or did he have to be in? I don't remember. Regardless, he broke his kneecap. And that's another thing that I figure out about this game is that, like in 2K, I remember if you're playing offline by yourself, your player gets injured and say they're out for the season, but say it happens like at the end of the season or in the playoffs, they're out for the season. They'll be ready back in the start of the regular season. And I don't know if that's changed with this new 2K. I have not played it. But I just know from experience, those players are back. Unless you're playing online, because I played online dynasties with my friend, my GMs with my friend, and those players will miss because instead of doing it based off of length of time, they do it based off of a length of a game. This still does it based off of a length of a time, but it follows that length of time. So my quarterback, he broke his kneecap. He was out for 44 weeks. He was a freshman. He was a redshirt freshman. He did not play again until his senior year. Did not touch the field until his senior year. So my backup, who I think might have been, no, matter of fact, he didn't touch the field again until his junior year. He left his junior year. My backup was a year older than him, but ended up playing his sophomore and junior year. Didn't play his senior year because my starter was back for his junior year to play, but it was 44 weeks that I did not have him. I legit was like, okay, he'll be back next year. Played through the whole season, came back, and was like, why is he still injured? What the fuck? And yeah, it's based off of it's a real life length of time. And by the time that season started, it was like 20 weeks that he was still going to be out. And then, he came back at the start of his senior year. This guy, Felix Steven. It's a weird name. Felix Stevenson sounds so much better, but Felix Steven. As you can see, he was a 5-star out of high school, elite quarterback. He's put up numbers for me. This is his first year as a starter. 73 touchdowns, 10 picks. Yeah, he puts up numbers, and I haven't ran with him a lot because I'm not gonna lie, a little gun shy after I ran with that one quarterback and he broke his kneecap, because I just don't like how the sliding works in this game, where I've been running with a quarterback and I hit the slide button, and if a player is close enough that they can initiate a tackle because your player started to slide, it'll just do a normal tackle animation. And now if another player's close enough, that player will then join an animation for a tackle, and then you will fumble the football. It's so annoying. They need to fix that, and there are ways around that. I know that you can, if you are getting tackled, you can hit the slide button and your player will fall to the ground, or make that attempt to fall to the ground to prevent that. But I don't think I can do that after I've already hit the X button. I'll have to test that out to see, but I don't think you can do that. Like I said, I'll have to test that out to see. Yeah, well, I'll see what happens. I think this guy's going to end up leaving, and then it's going to be up to Billy Childress, who's a transfer. He went to Wisconsin, I want to say. 4-star normal dev from Cincinnati. Yeah, he was at Wisconsin. He did put up numbers, and then he came here just to sit and to not play that well. And then Juan Mochi, funny. But yeah, it'll be a toss-up to see which one of them gets better. Maybe him, because he should be 4-star. So he might get that bump in overall to pass Childress, but we'll see. I'm really excited for this guy, Dennis Higgins. 5-star elite. Now, I hope he doesn't end up like the last guy where he just doesn't play, and we'll see what happens with him. Alan Hepburn. He was... I didn't know he was 5-star elite. From Iowa, too. That's so random. And then this guy is Jalen Ramsor, 4-star normal. But another thing that I've noticed with this is that the ebbs and flow, I might as well just go through the whole team, the ebbs and flow of the recruiting, and how I can sometimes get players at a premium at certain positions. Like, for whatever reason, I never add a loss for tight ends. never. Tight ends used to be real big in my program where, you know, they were so heavily used. I think I have like a tight end that has a couple of receiving records, and then I have this guy. Oh no, yeah, I didn't even notice that it didn't switch to the right guy. But yeah, I had tight ends that broke multiple receiving records and always won, tight end of the year, and then have this guy that I barely use. But that's mainly because he's a blocking tight end. He is not fast, does not have great acceleration, and then my backup tight end, I think he definitely does get used more. Oh, he did last year. Oh, he put up decent numbers last year, and then it's just the overall thing. His overall didn't go up that much. His did. He's a starter. Them's the breaks sometimes. 5-star, just an impact though. It didn't go through. Hold on. Just can't go too fast. 4-star normal dev. Duke Berry. 4-star elite. So we'll see if this guy really makes that jump and he is, the next best thing. I mean, 88 speed with 82 acceleration is great. So for a tight end, 6'3", 246, that's great for a tight end. So we'll see how that goes. I have been able to get really good blockers, and I've also realized, and I'm probably dumb for not realizing this before, but realizing certain archetypes for players and what they need for you to get them to come to your school. So an example of that is pass blocking. Any down blocker. You need to not take that many sacks, which is ironic because this is a game where I feel like your offensive linemen give up a lot of sacks. Ironically enough. So it's crazy how that works. But yeah, he's rated in 88. He's only a sophomore. 6'7", 306. Hopefully he comes back next year. If he doesn't, I do have this guy behind him who's rated in 82. He's a freshman, 6'5", 307. So we'll see how that goes. Left guard, we have Andre Angolo, whatever. He's rated in 90, 6'5", 285 from Honolulu, Hawaii. He's a senior, so he's gone. I have these two that'll be competing for that next spot. 6'3", 297, Demario Jennings, and Frank Walker, 6'1", 339. He's a big boy. So what is he? He is 4-star impact, and he is 4-star impact as well. So it's pretty even playing field. Jennings has a slight bump, so we'll see what happens. Dion Lokembo. We'll go with Lokembo. Yeah, he is my starting center. As you can also see, he's leaving. He's a senior. We also have Hugo Angel, who's rated in 87. We also have Calvin Thomas, who is rated in 88. They both get bumped to a 91, and he gets the push over him. I don't understand why, but whatever. 6'2", 299, 6'1", 300, 6'3", 322. Then I have this guy as a freshman who is Angel Patton, 6 foot, 284. Anthony Burke, 6'3", 316. Oh, look, pass blockers. Yeah, so hopefully they don't leave. But I haven't really taken that many sacks. I remember before it was like 40 in a season. I think the quarterback had said like 20-something sacks that I have taken. 23. That's not bad. Not bad at all. But these guys. 4-star, star dev. Then we got 4-star impact. So I think the edge goes to Angel. we'll see what happens next year. As you can see, Dion has many. He has just many awards: All-American, Best Center of the Year. Obviously, he's a star player on my team. Next is Phil Bergstorm. Phil Bergstorm. Where did I get Bergen? Whatever. Anyways, but also crazy enough, Joseph Tull. He is a star dev, and he's my backup right guard. He'll be back next year, or he might leave. Who knows? I have Val Blum behind him, but I don't even know how he got to be a star dev as a backup. Has he played? I doubt he's played. So there's no way he's just not giving up any sacks. But yeah. This guy, what is he, a senior? I think so. He's only given up 4 sacks this year. 1 last year. It's pretty fucking good. I should just look at how much sacks they've all given up. Dion's only given up 1 sack this year. He's given up 3 in his career. That is crazy. And I don't mess with the sliders. I know I saw one YouTuber talk about messing with the sliders to make it so that you have more of an even playing field with players getting past your blockers, and I haven't done that. I can't even prove it. He's given up 2 sacks this year. I wonder who was the problem child on this offensive line. Is it you? 6 sacks. Yeah, it is you. You're the problem. You're the problem. And then my right tackle, Ernie Roach, he's a senior. He is the lowest overall player. 6'7", 312. Should have better players in the wing. I'm losing actually 2 players, Del Knight as well. But next year it'll be between Clayton Montgomery and Javante Tutton. Not really high on any of them. Either one of them. He was, 4-star normal? What have you done? You've given up 7 sacks. So my left tackle and my right tackle are the reasons for the sacks. The interior is good. The exterior is not so good. So now we have left ends where it's been an up and down thing. Again, as you can see, these 2 players not redshirted because they ended up getting playing time because I don't have that many left ends. It's crazy. You know, it was like this last year, obviously, which is why he's a sophomore. And he has barely played this year. He got 2 sacks last year as a freshman. He got a half a sack this year. He's barely played. And he's a 5-star, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 5-star star dev. He's barely touched the field. This guy I'm high on. He might make the jump. 5-star. Elite from Jersey City, shout out New Jersey. But 3 sacks this year, so he might get the bump over him. We'll see what happens. Might as well show this one. This guy's also from Richland. Never heard of it, but still shout out Jersey. Yeah, he's recorded no stats. I don't even know why I looked at that. His red shirt's still on. That was stupid of me. Regardless, moving forward, and you can see it right in. I have 1 player. I don't know why. I just cannot get write-ins to come to my school very often. I've gotten a couple in recruiting this year, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, he has 3.5 sacks off of 17 tackles, 17 total tackles. Again, he barely plays. Comes in like spot situations to help out with my linebackers. Defensive tackle is another area where I've struggled for whatever reason. This guy has been putting up numbers. He ends up being second on the depth chart for me, and he is doing work. Redshirt freshman, he has 12 and a half sacks as a defensive tackle, speed rusher, as they're saying. How fast is he? 78 speed with 87 acceleration. Makes sense. This guy, well, we're here. We might as well look at him. He barely plays, if I'm not mistaken. He still is giving me 6 sacks this year. That's actually crazy. So, wait, do you play? He's a 3-star normal dev. Okay, so he might not play. He 2.5 sacks. I mean, it makes sense over a long season that he ends up getting 2.5 sacks at some point. But, yeah, it looks like they're the ones that start and he just comes off the bench. But linebacker's another position where I can barely get players to come to my fucking school. Regardless. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the first time I think I've seen this player. I know that's a lie, but I don't remember him ever making plays for me. He's a transfer. That's why. That's why I don't know who he is. Why did I recruit you? I didn't need you. I probably did it for depth. I probably went out and recruited him out the transfer portal for depth because I lack depth at the linebacker position, as you can plainly see. But what has he done? 1 tackle? 1 solo tackle, but 16 total, which is more than what he's done at Iowa State. So kudos to him. We got Major Blade. He's a 4-star normal dev. 2 sacks, 15 tackles. Then you have my middle linebackers. So I want you to see this. 96 speed with 90 acceleration. Wild. He's one of my faster players. He's my 3rd fastest player, if I'm not mistaken. And we're about to see my fastest player. Well, my 2nd fastest player. My fastest player is a redshirt freshman wide receiver. My 2nd fastest player. But yeah, this guy is just so fast. Just 4-star elite from Blythewood, South Carolina. Been there before. Haven't gone to school in North Carolina. Been to Blythewood. 6 sacks last year. He was coming off the edge a little bit more. This year he is out there in pass protection more often. 6 deflections, 2 picks. He has 1 sack this year. 91 tackles. Fumble recovery. He had a safety last year. Yeah, he's putting in that work. And then you have this guy, Tyquan Robin. Run stopper, 6'2", 244, Scottsdale, Arizona, 4-star impact. He has put in that work. He has grinded out with me. Just 34 tackles his first year. Dropped to 16, barely was playing. Now 102 and then 105. 1.5 sacks this year, 3 picks, a forced fumble, 3 fumble recoveries, and he has a tutty this year. He has 3 on his career. That is crazy. And it's crazy that he's done so much and he's only rated an 84. He won't get drafted. But, I feel like that is realistic. That does happen, that there are players that are just like, oh my God, they're so good in college, they just don't have the attributes to translate. He is translating. As you can see, he's only a sophomore. This guy is a senior. Then you have this guy, Frank Anthrop, 5-star impact. Has he played? Oh, he has. He has 3.5 sacks. Look at that. Wow. Barely remember seeing him on the field, but he probably plays when I stop paying attention, when it's time for the backups to come in. And then you have Manu Costello, 5-star elite, 6'2", 233 from Napa, California. Obviously, he hasn't played. He's a freshman, and his red shirt's still there. Now you have this absolute monster of a man, Fabian Allen, 97 speed, 99 acceleration as a linebacker. And you know what's crazy? He's a pass coverage linebacker. He's 6'2", 234. I use him in pass rush. I don't use him where he probably would be the best at, dropping back in coverage. But as you can see, he was a 5-star elite dev. 37.5 sacks this year. He can get off of blocks. He still has a pick this year because he's dropped back in coverage for me. He has another pick, 2 years ago. He has still 3 pass deflections, 4 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and he has 2 touchdowns. One of those was a pick, and I think the other one might have been the fumble recovery. Well, that's the only one thing that it could be, fumble recovery and pick. Makes sense. Duh, dummy. But yeah, he has progressive, just gotten so much better for me. And the difference between this one and this one is that he jumped between this year and this year. He jumped between this year, coming off the edge and then just dropping back and being more so that linebacker in coverage. And it didn't amount to interceptions or a lot of pass deflections, but as you can see, 101 tackles versus his 74 this year, where he's just been coming off the edge and just pinning his ears back and going after the quarterback. Terrell Brait, another player where I feel like he's been consistent and so good for me for a while, and he's just definitely not going to get drafted, only 85. But look at this, 109 tackles, 103 tackles, 3 picks this year, 2 sacks. He had 2 picks this year, 1 sack. He had some forced fumbles and fumble recoveries in those years, and then his numbers dropped because progression is just a bit weird in this game where, what did I say? He's a normal dev? We'll check that again, but he comes off the edge more so now, 6 sacks, 9 sacks, so, but it's crazy. He has 109 tackles, and it just hasn't translated to him getting better. Impact, it's weird, but then I've seen impact players be over 90, so I don't know. Bo Feely, I feel like he's going to be really good for me. Oh yeah, 4-star elite dev. He's going to be so good. What has he done this year? Just 1 sack this year, but he'll definitely be a lot better. Cornerbacks, crazy. Ryland President, 93 speed, 91 acceleration, 3-star impact, but then the other one is a 4-star impact, but he is rated over a 90 by himself. Like as a senior, he's without the boost. 6 picks this year. Did he get any touchdowns? He has 2 touchdowns. So I truly just don't understand it sometimes, but I feel like the progression they've definitely got to fix. Another player, 3-star dev. Granted, yes, he is a star, but still, he's a 3-star. 12 picks this year, rated an 88, and he's a junior. And just you seeing this now, how it's been a bit hard. You've seen with the decimated numbers of players that I have at some position. Now you're seeing where I've just had to go out and just get players. Like I need corners, so I went out and I got 3 stars, and they translate and become good players for me. You have this guy, Cordell Streeter, 15 picks this year from Michigan. Any tutties? None this year, but he has 5 on his career. He's been putting in that work for me his whole entire time he's been on the field. Leo Redwine, and as you can see, all of them are star devs up to Leo Redwine. 3-star dev, and he's rated what, an 87, real 87, but jumps to an 89. He has 3 picks this year. He's only a junior. And I've been real deliberate with, as you can see, the players. If I need to go after certain type of players, where I'm going for them from. Basically meaning like I needed corners, but I'm not just going out and recruiting corners from like Washington or from North Dakota, wherever, because I needed corners and I can only get 3 stars at the time. No, I went out and I got 3 stars from Florida. Nobody gave them any type of look, so I did that. And their deal breakers weren't proximity to home, so it worked out. Florida, and this guy, right here, Red Wine from Texas. I made sure to go get them athletes because those are 2 of the best states to get them athletes from. I'm not talking about the position athlete. I'm just talking about athletes in general, players. Theo Landry, he's a sophomore from Manchester, Tennessee. 4-star impact. Emmanuel Spadola. Why'd I say it like that? Spadola. 4-star normal. Santa Ana, California. Paul Florence. 5-star normal. Jesus Christ. Well, hopefully he becomes halfway decent. But again, and you can also see that some of these players aren't redshirted because they've just had to play. They've literally just had to play. The safeties positions have been so weird to me. So weird. And I can show it in more so in the strong safety section. Why have you gotten playing time? Oh my God. So annoying. 4-star, star dev. Well, fuck it. Del Mines. He has been really good for me. I feel like he's been here for ever. But, only 4 appear, but I feel like he's been here for, obviously only 4 appear, and 5 would appear under other circumstances. But yeah, I feel like he's been here for forever. Been decent with getting picks. I mean, he is tall as well. Both my safeties are 6'3", so it's crazy. But yeah, he's, as you can see right here, over 120 tackles in that year, 1.5 sacks, 4 picks. Like, he was all over the place, and I'm still trying to figure out. And he had a touchdown, and I'm trying to figure out why he's not rated higher. 87 is not bad, but still, why is he not rated higher? Then dropped to 93, and now he has only 41 this year playing in the actual safety position, and that has a lot to do because I think he was playing linebacker for me a bit. Same thing with my other cornerback, safety, Alex Eddy. I mean, literally, look at all of his. I probably should have changed his position to linebacker. It's way too late in the game now for that, and I can't even test it out next year because he's a senior. But look at all of his badges. Like, those are linebacker badges. And for him to be run support is crazy to me. And his run support has the least amount of... I'm so confused. This confuses me a lot. It is what it is. But I mean, he has 3 Hall of Fame physical badges, Aftershock, which I've noticed that they've definitely nerfed Aftershock, because I remember back before they changed what the color of the badges, because it was hard to see the difference between silver and platinum a little bit. It was a little hard. You can tell, but you had to like really look at it at a glance. It was easy to get them mixed up. But I remember there was a safety from Georgia. He has Hall of Fame, or platinum aftershock, and he hit two of my running backs in the Rice one, and one of them got knocked out of the game. The other one had to sit out for a significant time because he was hurting. And he lays hits on people, and obviously, yeah, it hurts, but nowhere near how it used to. It's probably because the hammer is only a gold. I mean, excuse me, not gold. A bronze. He probably has a high hammer physical badge, so maybe that has something to do with that as well. But look at that. Freshman year, redshirt freshman. Wait, is he? We'll check that. But freshman year, he had 131 tackles because he was playing linebacker for me. 3 sacks, 1 interception, and then we got better linebackers, and he just wasn't that great of a safety. And, you know, he's jumped up 72 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 6 picks. And as you can see, real deliberate about where I'm recruiting from. You know, he was what? 4-star impact player, but he's from North Texas. He's from Arlington, you know. And real deliberate about making sure if I can't get the big time players from wherever they're from, I'm going after these players from these specific places. Florida, Texas, Florida. California has not been a big hot spot for me. Even my kicker's from Texas, you know, his kick power is not great. 84, not great. It says deep range, but he's just okay. I feel like he's a lot better. It's that mega leg ability with his 93 kick power. Holy crap. Yeah, he sends punts flying. He's from California. But yeah, real deliberate about making sure I'm going after. If I can't get a big time player at whatever position, I'm going to specific places to make sure like I'm getting quality. So make sure you do that. In recruiting, if you need quality players, go to Florida, go to Texas, California even. I haven't utilized California, as you can see, but go to California and get these players. And you can see right here, like the speed I was talking about. He had 98 speed, this wide receiver from Florida, but then my 2 linebackers just, oh, right here, speed demons. Oh my God. 97 speed, 96 speed, and that 99 acceleration is wild to me. It's just wild. So wild. You can see, you can see the speed from some of these other players, and it's just your usual suspects, you know, after those 2 monsters, usual suspects with the wide receiver, the cornerbacks, you know. I have a quarterback with 94 speed with 92 acceleration, the Dennis Higgins that I showed earlier, so I need to find a way to get him on the field. Let's put it like that. I need to find a way to get him on the field, but yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to make another video where I intercut the showing the recruiting at the end of this, but yeah, this is what I wanted to show. Washington State, definitely one of the hardest dynasties to do, but also it can be done if you are deliberate with where you're recruiting, the type of players you're recruiting from these states. Texas, Florida, California, they have the best players, and then you can slot other players here and there from other states to fill in positions, and you'll go from there, you know.